What is going on YouTube? It is LordZhangFei. Today we're going to be doing a really cool showcase of one of my favorite characters that I've been working on for a really long time. And I think this season I finally really made him viable. It's a big uphill battle to make this character work. As to some mechanics that the developers decided to implement. I'm not too sure if maybe they thought giving a paladin the ability to summon freely as a necromancer with all of the available auras was a little overpowered, because let me tell you what, when you get some burning souls and you're rocking the negative 130, 150 resistance, it's pretty strong. It's stronger than it would ever be with a necromancer, that is for sure. Or maybe it was a play on light versus dark. Obviously the paladin being with the high heavens, necromancer not so much. Let's check it out. Go ahead and open this room here. This is the character, the build. Look at that hammer damage. You're probably thinking that is totally trash, and you're right, it is. 3000 is nothing, but check it out. We go, see that? We are actually going to be using our concentration aura from Pride by the mercenary. Definitely something that had to happen for this build. We do lose about 3,500 damage. 13k is your typical hammered in. But in replace of that 3.5k damage, we will easily make that up with our summons and maybe a little bit of zealing. The interesting thing with that is that it frees up all of these other fancy auras that we're going to be using. I actually have 4 of them bound to hotkeys: Fanaticism, Conviction, Vigor, and Salvation. Don't really use this one too much, but it is important to be able to have all of these, because obviously your revives are going to all be different. You know, you get Erdars, you're going to want to use Fanaticism, Conviction, Burning Souls. You kind of get the picture. It really makes it to where this is how I wanted it to be played. You know, what's the point of having a paladin that can revive guys but is stuck using concentration for hammers? That's why I typically always lean towards a melee build with this, but let's be real, melee paladins are not that great. So I found a way to get about 9.5k hammer damage. Very, very cool. Here's the mechanic that I'm talking about. Let me remove my shield here. Let's go cause a little havoc. What's also really cool with this is that I can have teleport on my secondary while I use hammers, which is kind of interesting because normally you always are switching from concentration to teleport. But with this, you can just freely cruise around and use hammers at will. So here is the deal. All right, let's get all prepared here. Our guy is going through a real depressive state in life, and here we go. Check it out. He will actually take a suicide pact with his mercenary there, and yeah, very frustrating mechanic when you're actually trying to play the build. It's horrible, because you know you're in times when your life isn't that high and you're going to revive somebody, and I've killed myself plenty of times. Rest in peace, Kurt Cobain. I've killed myself plenty of times playing the game. Chaos Sanctuary, I love this guy. I have another little setup with Corpse Morn that I use sometimes, but it's a mechanic that makes it almost unplayable. At least, you know, I thought so. So let's get our stuff back here. Definitely an interesting mechanic. Shout down in the comments why you think they did that. I'm not sure. There's some godly gear right there. Yeah, right. So how do we combat that? Well, we are actually going to be using Phoenix. And the reason is that reason right there. Always giving us life. Always giving us mana. It's going to allow us to use hammers without meditation as well. So it's kind of like killing 2 birds at 1 stone. Now, you're probably thinking, well, the corpses are going to disappear. How are you supposed to revive them? And that is something that just takes you getting used to playing this character. Okay, you have to be really quick on the revive. Obviously, keep it on a hotkey. What's cool though is that you can still use your hammers and not having to switch back and forth from concentration. Another big benefit from doing it the way that I do. Let's go ahead and identify this 5 NATO 2 socket helmet. So, sell this real quick because I think I need the gold. No, actually I had enough. Let's get our dude back. We're useless without our mercenary. Normally I don't like crutching on a mercenary like this at all really. But the fact that he'll have revives with him makes a big difference because he won't be taking as many hits. So, here is his gear. Here's the rest of my gear. Eternity, Enigma, a 2 skill 20 FCR Paladin hat, 2 Paladin 15 FCR amulet, Stones of Jordan. It's really important to try to get your hammers as high level as you can because without the higher level concentration, we really needed as much damage as we could. Mage Fist, Silkweed. You could really change these out to a whole lot of different things. I have a pair of Gore Riders in here. Even I switch them out regularly if I'm going to be playing a little more offensively because at level 99 you do have a 7 or 8 points. I put them into Zeal. Of course 1 point into Charge and Holy Shield. So I maxed out Fanaticism. I got my Conviction to level 21, just enough to combat Mephistos and Ubers if I'm going to go play it solo. Or just 130 I think is enough. And I will alternate between these as I play. Of course, now with the Blessed Aim being one of the prerequisites for hammers, it actually comes in handy for Zeal because that is going to give us a little bit of extra attack rating as well. So that kind of goes hand in hand. And then Vigor, this is an interesting aura to use. Obviously you run by yourself, you think it's very nonchalantly just increases your run speed, which it does. But if you actually get a pack that has Fast as one of their bonuses, if you stack their Fast with this Vigor, they actually run so fast. We'll see if we can run into that in this video. And then the Salvation does come from my Scepter here. That's a really nice Scepter. You really want to find one, a Caduceus, or however the hell you say that. Secondary, you know, I do have this Holy Shield Call to Arms and a Spirit. I do regularly switch that up though. I do have this perfect Astrian's Iron Ward. I really love this item. I actually used it in one of my low life Paladin runs. I did a Paladin run on Uber's 185 hit points. Used this thing, so it's very special to me. So you can use whatever though. If you wanted to have a melee on the secondary, you know, Exile. I also have this set up with teleport charges. Okay, I gotta get these rings here. Just to make up the resistance. Look at these godly rings I got here. Oh my gosh, that's very nice. This one's really nice too. Shout out to Don, US West server, man. Always helped me out. So I'll set it up like this if I am going to be playing the melee build. And I actually have teleport charges on both of these. But when you're playing, you just try not to use teleport for anything other than really gathering your summons in one place. It's kind of a pain in the ass because you do have a lot of repair charges and it costs a lot, and you know what I mean? It's not that great, but if you really wanted to play as a true kind of Necro Hybrid, this is the best way to do it. It's a fun play, you know, especially if you're going to be going with Zeal quite often. So you would have like a secondary of, you know, these two Astrians and Exile. And then as you're playing, you know, if you notice there's a bigger mob, switch to Zeal if you don't have a lot of revives. Get in there, clump them up together huge. You won't even take that much damage because you'll be using Life Tap with Exile. Hit them with a couple corpse explosions. It's just fun. Is it efficient? Not really. Is it fun? Certainly. And then I do got the Sanctuary just because if I want to play Ubers, I'm not stuck using an aura to combat Mephisto, depending on how I'm feeling about playing. But enough of me chatting. Let's get all this gear back in order. Let's see this dude in action. Super fun build. One more interesting thing before I do go. You'll notice that I do have 2 Stones of Jordans, an Arachnid, and a Silkweave. This actually adds 65% extra mana. So if you'll notice, you know, these are adding a huge boost to mana. 28. And then when you're battle ordered, it's even more. So what I would typically do, you know, let's go do a Chaos run, I guess. I only do this once because with revives you can't switch out, kind of the bummer thing about it, but we'll get it now. Make sure all my hotkeys are in order. See what kind of summons we can get here. Definitely don't want to get those guys. They are pretty trash. Some of these pit lords, I guess we could get a few of them. So, you know, just have your revive. My god, those damn worms. Bastard worms. So we'll just get some of these dudes. I'm not real too thrilled with all of these guys, but you know, we'll make it work. Getting hit really hard here. And you see how that redemption is just so helpful with this. You know, you do lose health so fast reviving. Half your health is gone in like, you know, 4 or 5 revives. So without redemption, it just doesn't really make too much sense. Alright, so now we take a look at our pile here. We got a couple pit lords, some of these maggot guys, which I'm not too thrilled about. You know, I'd probably just go with the fanaticism on these guys, mainly because the fanaticism is really going to help out our mercenary more than anything. Oh, you hear that sound and you instantly think, oh, it's a Corona. It's never a Corona. That's one of the items I've actually never found is a Crown of Ages. I've seen one drop in a public game, but I wasn't able to pick it up. But in a private game, I've actually never seen it dropped. Go ahead and get all these guys together. It's just, our revives are kicking ass. They rarely die, to be honest with you. You know, they size up real well against whatever you're playing, so... That's the kind of the cool thing about this build is that while you do lose quite a bit of points doing this, I think it's 3,500 is what I said from a regular hammered in. You'll gain that real fast if you're playing in the higher players, because of course, you know, your revives are going to match whatever revives you are, whatever level they are when players 8 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So players 8 matches up with players 8 real well. You'll gain that 3,500 damage back very easily. And what's really cool about Phoenix, also it has the fire absorb, so you know, it's real tanky. You know, get a couple more revives. Check this Scourge out. I'm actually looking for a few of them. I am not looking for a one-socket one though. All right, here we go. Take out Diablo. Get on that fanaticism. It is, of course, you know, we're players 1. I know any characters can, you know, totally destroy this. But this is just a fun way for me to play. I would definitely recommend saving an Ort and a chipped gem. Look at that thing. Wow. Too bad it's not ethereal with way higher defense. That'd be kind of cool. So, yeah, let's do an Uber real quick. That's the build. Let's see if we can get some Uber-worthy guys, though. Let's go open up this portal. I'm finally getting back into making videos all the time. I started a new job a few weeks ago, so I really like my new job. It frees up a lot of time that I'll have. So we're going to go ahead and get some guys. We'll keep it like this, but when we do go... Actually, I'll switch these up right now. Definitely want to use these for when I'm in Ubers. And we'll switch up the Phoenix when we're done. Battle orders. Won't be able to use battle orders once we get the revives and time runs out. Go and see if we can get us some Erdars. Ooh, some dolls. Don't like those. Normally you get pretty lucky in here. They're pretty much always in here. Sometimes not though. There's a few. So we're going to go ahead and go a different route since there's not a big spawn of them over there, and we're going to go for these guys. See if these guys are over here. Yeah, I love these guys. I believe these guys do crushing blow too. I may be incorrect about that though. Alright, here we go. We'll just take these 7 in there. That should be good. Definitely do want to switch to my exile though. Grab that thing and we are money. Go back to smite here. Just make sure you have your conviction on ready to be swapped over real quick. Cool thing about this with the Iraqs and the Eternity, it does stack slow, so that's pretty cool. Looks like we already got a nice life tap on them. This should be smooth sailing. Got a nice surround on them with those revives too. We don't do too much damage, but again, with crushing blow, it's no problem. I think it's 85% crushing blow here. Let's go ahead and jet right in there, and we're going to just use fanaticism on these guys. Take out Bale first. Maybe move just a little bit. Sometimes when you first teleport right there, it's like they don't want to attack. You got to move just a little bit. No problem doing Ubers. And again, you know, with the concentration from the Merc, you know, we're getting that too, and we're getting his might. So right now we're actually stacking concentration, might, and fanaticism. That's pretty good for a melee attack. It's pretty fun to be able to not die. Don't want to do that. Looks like we got us a big spawn problem here. Go ahead and get these guys out of the way. That is a lot of Venom Lords. My goodness. Sit in this fire. Heal a little bit. We're just going to dive right into Diablo. There he is. Get our fanaticism on. Kill Diablo real quick. Get out of here. I super like this build. I recommend, you know, if you guys are interested in trying it out, it is a fun way to play. Kind of a paladin with a necromancer twist. And again, why do you guys think they penalize you for reviving as a paladin? I think that's a very funny mechanic. It really made it to where when I tried to play this as a melee character, very difficult to really expand on the idea of being able to use any aura with the revives. And I think we nailed it with the hammers here. Check out this 2020 torch. 1914. Druid trash. Thanks again for checking out the video, guys. I will continue on with the rest of the characters as the weeks go by. I probably will end up rebuilding them all on Battle.net just because I'm not a big fan of hero editor characters. Sometimes you get a little too carried away. You guys know what I mean. But take it easy. Check you guys out on the next video. Peace.